Oops, I did it again. I bought some books. I'm not really supposed to be doing that. It's okay. My bookish haul. So, two things happened. One, I had a huge stack of 25 books that I took to the used bookstore, got credit, and I picked up four from that shopping trip. And I was on a trip to California. Let me scoot over so I can put in a picture of my nephews that are bookish and beautifully nerdy like me. Love the used old bookstore that we went to. We went in here and just, it's like a warehouse of good, old, lovely books. I could have bought twice as many as I bought. So I have a total of eight or nine. Oh, nine, because then my sister also gifted me a beautiful book that I want to share with you. So nine books have come into my life. Two of them are children's books that I read right away. So they, don't have to get added to my TBR since they're read. But the others do. So I'm not doing very well on getting down the TBR number necessarily, but that's okay. That's okay. So one of these are the four books that I picked up at the used bookstore here locally or whatever that I traded in, right? This one, Pies and Prejudice, Ellery Adams. So this is a cozy mystery centered around a bakery. And this caught my eye and was one that I picked up because there is a woman who works there named Natalie. She always has a stack of, I love these books, I recommend these books. And almost every book in that stack that I've read, I also love. So I just know that anytime she's loved a book, I will at least like the book. Never have I bought a book that she has loved that I didn't at least like. And every once in a while, I feel like that palate cleansing, cozy mystery kind of thing. So I picked that one up because it's used books, right? And it's supporting a private local business as well. They also had on there Matt Haig, The Life Impossible. So this was probably one of the more expensive one. It's used, but it was still just half price off of the original cover. But I really, really loved The Midnight Library. So thought I would give him another shot because that's the only thing I've ever read by him. I also found this beautiful copy of The Secret Garden. So this actually doesn't have to go on my TBR either. I have read this multiple times. But this particular copy looks like the copy that I owned as a little girl. It had this picture on it. It was this kind of limey green. And so I remember in college debating keeping my original books that I had owned from childhood, and I was getting ready to move, didn't know where, and I made the decision to pass on all of my books. Unless they were like family had been passed down to me. If they were my books, I just gave them away. I didn't want to haul around a bunch of books, and I totally regret it. It's one of the only times in my life that I regret kind of purging or cleansing of things. So anyway, I saw this one and I thought, oh, that looks like my old copy, but mine was much more beat up. I had read it multiple times. It was one of the books that got me into my love for reading. So bought that one, and then the last one I bought at the used bookstore was this one, Fairy Tales of Puerto Rico, and it has four different fairy tales with beautiful illustrations. I am leading a youth team to Puerto Rico this summer, and so I thought this would be great at youth group to give a quick little fairy tale story each week as we're leading up to getting ready to go on the trip. So and they're very cute. So those are the four I got at the local used bookstore. Then at the fun bookstore that I showed the picture of, another John Steinbeck. This one I hadn't heard of either, Sweet Thursday. It's another little short, sweet one. Yeah, so this is a prison one. So I was thinking Cannery Row talked about prisoners, but I think this is probably the one that actually was being referred to, talking about prisoners. Then I did pick up Hilary Mantel's Wolf Hall, and I believe that my friend Shelley Swearingen, this is one of her like top books that I've heard her talking about, and I haven't read it. And so I saw this and I thought, I'm going to pick up that copy because it was also a really good price. It was like $5. So I thought, I'm going to go ahead and grab that, as well as Donna Tartt, who I always think of my friend Susan at Road Reads. She loves her, and I do too. I just read The Secret History and love The Goldfinch, but I have not read The Little Friend, which the shop owner who owned the quirky place said this is his favorite. He likes this better than any of them. And so I'm pretty excited to read that. It was heavy though, so I had to, this is when I decided I need this book in my life, but I'm shipping things back to Texas. I'm not flying back, because we drove the car and then flew back. And then, y'all, check out this book. This is like an old, damaged, super loved book from the 30s. And the title, Experiment in Autobiography by H.G. Wells. So if you were watching my reviews where I was talking about the history of Mr. Polly, which was written by H.G. Wells, and it's not a sci-fi, but it's like one of those that's kind of got that feel of life is tragic and all these things are not going to go well kind of. And I whenever that happens, I just always feel like, what happened to the author, right? Like, where did that come from? And so I immediately got interested in learning more about H.G. Wells. I read the little kind of Wikipedia start on the overview of his life, and it sounds very interesting. It sounds like he did indeed have a lot of struggle and hardships, and particularly I was intrigued by, it sounded like he had a lot of drama in his romance and marriages and that kind of thing. So anyway, this is his thoughts. And let me just I've got one more book to show you after this that my sister gave me, but let me just you can fast forward to where I hold up a book if you don't want to hear this, but I want to read to you the very beginning of his book, because I started to in the store and I just appreciate it so much. I think it speaks volumes as to who he is and the interest of learning more about him. So it says, chapter the first, the introductory. I need freedom of mind. I want peace for work. I am distressed by immediate circumstances. My thoughts and work are encumbered by claims and vexations. I cannot see any hope of release from them. Any hope of a period of serene and benefit activity before I'm overtaken altogether by infirmity and death. I'm just like, oh, sold. I totally want to read his account of life. And, he even doesn't want to just say it's my autobiography or it's my diary or it's my thoughts. It's an experiment. I'm not even saying that I'm going to do this well. I'm just struggling with holding on for existence itself. It's just like, the drama. No wonder he is such a brilliant mind of creation, right? The War of the Worlds and all this kind of stuff going down. So this is the final book I really wanted to share with y'all. In Every Life. It's Marla Frazze. So my sister gave me this. It has beautiful artwork and illustrations. And it says, like the first page here, in every birth, blessed is the wonder. And then it has these beautiful illustrations about the beginning of life. And just beautiful illustrations on that. And then it'll talk about, in every smile, blessed is the light. And so it just talks about these different aspects of life, about, the hope of doing, of working, of honesty, of integrity, of goodness, of comforts, taking care of each other, even in the hardships, mystery of life, just beautiful, beautiful stuff. And the sadness, the tears, the loss, the rains of life, and then the love. And it's just like so poignant. It's like, y'all, there's like hardly no words, but the illustrations and just the in every life, talking about the rawness of emotions and experiences that we all have. And just my sister and I just going through a lot of these firsts without our mom, and just how much more even poignant a book like this is. So I think this would even be a beautiful gift for somebody who's having a baby. starting a marriage, who has just experienced divorce, who has lost somebody and is grieving. I think all of those things, this book speaks to that. I just think it's amazing. Yeah, there's my haul. So adding the ones that I haven't read to that list, minus the fact that I read more than I thought I was going to in January, I'm actually down to 170 books, 170 books that are on my TBR, on my physical shelves that I have not read. So yay, we're like actually moving in the right direction, even though, y'all, I wasn't supposed to necessarily buy more books. But I didn't say that I wasn't going to buy any. I just said that I wasn't going to be shopping and doing all this stuff. And y'all, I'm just going to tell you right now, the Barnes and Nobles, like right next door to me, like literally next to my work, is having its grand reopening this week. So I'm just saying now, it's really not stopping anytime soon. Y'all have a beautiful day. Happy book reading, and may the books that need to come into your bookish life do so, and us not feel guilty about it. Y'all take care.